Hey guys, Norm Rieger from HH Remodeling here, and we are in Montvale, New Jersey, checking up on the finishing touches of a kitchen that we're at approximately 95% completion. So we're not 100% yet. We still owe a chandelier for over the table. We still have floor protection down that we have to take up. We also have some temporary setup that we have to decommission as we transition the client from the temporary cooking spaces that we set up for them to their new kitchen. But I want to show you around this one. It's unique, it's different than the average kitchen that we do, and I think you're going to like it. So this particular kitchen, they worked with a designer who will tag below, and she did a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, there is some previous media of me going over the renderings, and the renderings that this designer produced for this job look exactly like the final product. Color, hardware, light fixture, stone texture, exactly the same. So these digital renderings from a year ago look exactly like this is now, right down to the furniture in the living room. So very cool process from start to finish, and it's great to see the end product here. This particular kitchen, the clients had a lot of involvement. They did a lot of research on specific windows they wanted for this job, very specific appliances. Not all the appliances are the same brand. And they put a lot of time and effort into researching what they wanted their kitchen to be as an end result. And this particular kitchen is kind of, besides the designer's incredible influence, it's also kind of a European inspiration. So almost a modern design with a European flair is the way I would categorize it. But we're really happy with this one. We're happy with the way it ended up. The clients are happy with the process. So I'm just going to show you some of the features of this kitchen that maybe make it a little different than the average kitchen that we do. You know, for example, as you'll notice, there's no upper cabinetry over here. The client is a very active cook, chef, that likes his workspace, and he wanted this workspace uninterrupted by any type of box or intrusion. So very high open shelving with a beautiful heavy-duty brass hardware, which gives it kind of an accent that plays off of the cabinet hardware. This is a granite stone, which has a little bit of a texture to it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on film, but it almost reminds me of a leathery effect or even a soapstone effect right here. Subway style tile, but not a typical white smooth subway tile. So this subway tile has, I'm going to call it subway tile because of the way it's laid and because it's a rectangular tile that's on a brick pattern, but it's not your typical cookie cutter in the subway in the Holland Tunnel tile. So this has texture to it, it has color variation, it has some dents, and it's made to look like it has imperfections. We always say the finishing touches that our designers and our clients pick out make us look better. Very interesting sconce fixtures on either side of this window. This particular window was a brand that we've never worked with before, so it's not your typical brand. It's an European-inspired window, usually manufactured in Germany, but these particular windows are manufactured in the US. Has some nice features. It's a triple pane glass, which deadens sound. The client was concerned about noise from the back of the house coming in. The window has a feature where it opens like a typical window, but there's also an option where the window tilts in. Now, how cool is that? Have you ever seen that in a window before? It's not something we work with often, actually, at all. So this was new to us, and we had to install it in a different way to make it work. So it didn't come with the traditional nailing flange on the outside of a window where we just pop it in from the outside. We had to build this and waterproof it and make it blend in with the existing wooden clapboard siding. The outside had a great finished result. Very cool windows. We're very happy when our clients choose things that are different, and this was great for us to work with, and now we will be able to offer this to other clients in the future now that we've had an opportunity to work with it because of this job. As you can tell, deep sink, semi-industrial yet modern faucet. We have a metal grid type tall cabinet to the right of the cook center. And this, I don't know if you can see, it kind of has a plastered stucco fresco kind of feel to this arched cooktop area. This particular client went with Blue Star, which is a very high-end appliance line. And this Blue Star is an 8-burner cooktop range with dual gas ovens underneath. This is not dual fuel because we do have an electric wall oven that we'll get to in a bit. Pot filler, marble shelf, interrupting, and a very powerful hood that's required because of the BTUs of these burners. There are specifications on what size hood and what size vent pipe and what size fan and what CFM, that's cubic feet per minute, the air is moving out of here to accommodate the heat and the vapors that is coming off of the cooktop. So all of this was planned well in advance. It was all designed. It was all purposeful. But it also looks really cool. Even the fact that the cabinetry doesn't go to the top and the two tops of the two cabinets line up and have the tile above it is a great feature. As you can tell, there's a lot of tile in this kitchen. It's not just your typical backsplash tile. What we have here in the island is, I believe, a quartzite stone. It's either quartz or quartzite. I believe this is quartzite, and it's done in a waterfall effect, which as we move the camera around, you're gonna see what a waterfall means is that the top surface of the countertop is mitered with the vertical surface of the countertop so that the countertop just rolls like a waterfall right down to the floor. Another unique feature that we've only done on one other job is the GFI receptacle that's on the island to plug in appliances required by code is hand painted to match the quartzite. So as you come around here, you can get a look at this. This particular outlet is recessed into the quartzite and is hand painted to almost blend in like camouflage with the stone itself. Large double refrigerator freezer built in. And if you come around here, the designer picked out everything from the colors and the fixtures to also the furniture. So what we have here is some bar stools that also contrast with the color schemes. You'll notice the color of the stools actually kind of blend with the appliances and not with the cabinet hardware. You'll also notice that the cabinets are two different colors, which is also common in a lot of the renovations we've been doing. Very often we're using dark mixed with white or light, and it just works perfectly. I think it's timeless. It's not a trend. This is going to stick around for a little while. And also, I don't know if you can see down here, the back of the island, we went with a beaded look. So it adds another layer of texture that doesn't necessarily blend with the other cabinetry, but adds a nice subtle feature that you probably don't even pick up on. It doesn't draw the eye, but it's there in the background, and another great effect visually for this kitchen. Again, things like light fixtures, which we don't care as contractors what light fixtures we're installing for you, but if you pick out something really cool or something unique, it just puts a cherry on top of the renovation. And these were selected in the renderings from the designer from the beginning. Great finishing touches here. Over here is the wall oven, which is an electric wall oven, but this is a double door wall oven. Also Blue Star. This is a great appliance. I would love to have one of these myself, and I just did my own kitchen. Little bit of appliance envy going on right now. These cabinets go up to the ceiling. This is a very tall ceiling. This isn't your average 8-foot kitchen. So this is 9-foot ceilings in this room, and the cabinetry was designed and built with fully recessed inset doors and drawers. This is a warming oven built in with cabinetry on the front of it. But as you can see, all the doors, we talked about inset before. They're not overlapping, they're recessed. Very nice look. The hardwood flooring has been put in to sort of blend with the other flooring in the rest of the home. It's not exactly the same, but it's been stained to a similar tint so that it doesn't draw the eye, but it is its own separate space. What you can't tell from the renovation is we had to completely reframe this area. I'm going to show you some footage, possibly in this video, of what it looked like before. And what we had was angled walls that came to a very small door in the middle and another angle coming back out here. We actually had to shift the opening down, which means we had to change the structural header. And we, because of the designer's inspiration, we also squared off the room. And this is a great little feature. You wouldn't know it wasn't here all the way from the beginning of the project, but this took a little bit of doing to make this happen. So what we have now is a great oversized slider door made by the same window manufacturer as the window we looked at before, but this whole space had to be completely reframed and the steps going outside had to be completely rebuilt because this is a new size opening than it was previously. That's about it for the kitchen proper. I want to show you one other feature we did with this. We did do some renovation, by the way, over there in the living room. Nothing dramatic. The TV's not yet mounted, but the designer spec'd out the carpet, the furniture, the fabric, and basically made this a cohesive renovation for the client. So follow me to one more feature that we were involved in. As you can tell, we're not 100% done, and this is important too. Because this particular client is a very active cook, he didn't want to be without a kitchen for the 2 to 3 months, or in this case, it was more like 6 months that this renovation went on. So what we were able to do was temporarily run 220-volt electric to another room and temporarily set up a high voltage oven so that they could still cook and not just use a microwave during the renovation. So part of our finishing touches on the job are to come in and decommission the temporary oven, and we also set up a temporary sink, and we'll decommission those, patch the walls, make it like it never happened. But those are things we can do to make the renovation less stressful and fit into your lifestyle. Last but not least is this very cool, I'll call it a butler's pantry rather than a regular pantry. This was a room with a little door that went out to the backyard, and it was redesigned so that you can actually use the space. Very cool, unique star and X type mosaic flooring. Almost a shocking blue lower cabinets with the brass hardware that matches the kitchen. Wall-to-wall floating shelves, and we went with the same granite for the kitchen itself. Big deep sink with a garbage disposal for prep type cooking. And it's a simple space, it's a modern space. Same tile as the backsplash that we used in the kitchen proper. But what a great little room off the kitchen to have, especially if you entertain or you do a lot of prep cooking or a lot of batch cooking. So we're kind of happy with the way this room came out. When we originally visited the job for the estimate, this was more or less a storage room on the way out the back door. And now it's a super functional space right off the kitchen. So that's about all I have for this Montvale kitchen video for now, but this is one we're kind of proud of.